this is the usual setting for round 4 of the Autobax Japan GT Championship, the palm-fringed Formula One circuit at Sepang, Malaysia. But this year's round 4, although it's still called the Malaysian round of the JGTC, is being held here at the Fuji Speedway. Travel concerns created by the SARS virus prompted this relocation of the series' only overseas round. And there's more that's unusual, like the weather. Thick fog and heavy rain greets the competitors, threatening the JGTC's first wet race in 2 seasons. And seeing as this is one of 3 Fuji rounds this year, the organisers have decided to make this the JGTC's first ever 2-heat round. Still, one thing remains the same. Fuji is fast. And fast in the JGTC tends to mean the V8 Toyota Supras. The Fuji formula is one that gives the Nissan Skyline drivers reason to smile as well. Toyotas and Nissans already dominate the point standings. But the JGTC's weight handicaps are taking care of most of them at this round. Series leaders Akira Ida and Juichi Wakasaka's Supra carries 110 kgs. Second place Satoshi Moriyama and Michael Krum's Skyline is toting 90 kilos. And GT300 points leaders Kouta Sasaki and Satoru Goto are carting an extra 60 kilos. Second place Porsche pair Shinichi Yamaji and Katsuyuki Nishizawa are held back by even more, 65 kgs. The handicaps put the focus on the likes of Richard Lyons and Masami Kageyama, armed with a Skyline that won round 2 here and slowed by just 40 kilos.
Yeah, well, our aim's slightly different this time. We're not really pushing for the win so much. We're thinking more of the championship now to drop the handicap weight down.
In with a good chance is young Frenchman Benoit Treloyer and his teammate Yuji Ide. Their Skyline toting just 20 kgs. Maybe it's your turn rather than the red cars this time.
I hope so.
There's also a front-running Supra or 2 without big handicaps. That includes the Wood-1 car of Eric Comas and Takeshi Tsuchiya, the one that got squeezed out of the round 3 win on the last corner. Another contender for sure is the AU Tsurumo Supra duo, Hironori Takeuchi and Yuji Tashikawa, determined to come back from 3 disappointments.
So obviously, if we are really going for the championship, we really got to get ourselves together.
In GT300, the new Wed Sport Toyota Celica heads into its second race on pole position. After a few wet practice and qualifying sessions, race day brings even worse, fog and rain. And approaching race time, the rain's gone, but the fog remains dense. Somewhere out there are 41,000 fans. The fact they're not easily seen means it's also not possible to see from one flag point to another, so it's too dangerous to start racing. After several delays here at a foggy Fuji, the field's ready to head out for the first of 2 shortened races. This one cut from 30 laps to 20. The second will lose its pit stop and it's reduced from 50 laps to 30. So it's Takeuchi at the wheel of the pole-sitting Supra, fastest with a 1 minute 24 second lap. That's just 1/10 of a second better than Eric Comas's Toyota. Naoki Hattori and Takuya Kurosawa make it an all-Toyota top 4. Then it's Jeremy Dufour ahead of the 3 Nissans of Masami Kageyama, Yuji Ide and Satoshi Moriyama. In GT300, Tanaka starts on pole, thanks to a 1 minute 32 second lap ahead of Yanagida in the Z car, 2/10 slower. Then it's Katsuyuki Nishizawa's Porsche beside Seigo Nishizawa's MRS. Akihiro Asai is 5th in the Endless Porsche and Takayuki Kinoshida's next in the Viper. Hideshi Matsuda's 7th in the Ferrari and Morio Nitta's 8th in the Garaya. So Takeuchi leads into the start, Tricky conditions ahead of these guys. Some have chosen to go on intermediate tyres, some on full wets because the track is sort of right like that. Some wet patches, some quite dry. You can see the spray being kicked up already, so there's also going to be a visibility issue for anyone except the leader. And that lucky man is Hironori Takeuchi. Controlled the start well. Oh, that's Motoyama getting off the edge of the track. Just a little bit in the number 23 Zanavi Nissan. So he's dropped back a little bit from those top guys fighting it out at the front. Comas really tucked. Oh, Comas diving down the inside already on the second corner. Almost overdoes it and takes himself off, and Kurosawa has gone off in the Zent Supra. So it was bound to happen, I guess, in these tricky conditions. Minoru Tanaka's got no problems whatsoever, alone out front, ahead of the Porsche that's taken over second place from the Nissan. So a good start from Nishizawa there. Oh, this is Tadao Uematsu in the number 81 Dacian Sylvia. Looks like he made contact with the Mosler, and they've both taken a turn for the worse. Out front though, look at the pressure coming on Hironori Takeuchi from Eric Comas. The Frenchman pulls alongside and he's gone past. The view from inside Takeuchi's car tells the story. Eric Comas is the new race leader. Oh, Minoru Tanaka working out a little bit of a buffer here in first place on the second place Porsche and GT300. Then it's the Hideshi Matsuda Ferrari next, and Morio Nitta in the Garai behind him. Oh, Takeuchi on attack on Eric Comas onto the front straight, and he's got him. And look behind, Yuji Ide wants to go past Comas as well, pulls out alongside. Yes, he's going to go by. Now he tucks in behind Takeuchi's car. Gets a screen full of spray for his trouble. Now he pulls around the outside. He's got them both. What a move. That is a great move up from 7th place on the grid, up to the lead of the race in just a few laps. So Yuji Ide leads the race in the Celsonic Skyline. Big fight here for about 9th place. Dufour leading the Ito, Lotter and Kanishi Hondas, and Dominic Schwager's Toyota. Oh, trouble for Eric Comas. He's gone from losing the lead of the race to losing a lot more now. Looks like a problem with the left front. Challenge for the lead of GT300. Tanaka has Hideshi Matsuda all over him. In fact, he's gone straight past. So, just like Ide and GT500, the Ferrari has come up from 7th place on the grid in GT300 to lead. There's our 2nd place Tanaka. The Garai is still sitting just behind him in 3rd, but 4th place. The Plus E Porsche's gone off on turn 1. So that's a disaster for the series leader. And now it's Hideshi Matsuda's turn to feel the heat. The Ferrari man has Takayuki Kinoshida's Viper go straight past him on the front straight. Look at the speed of that thing down this long Fuji straight. No challenges whatsoever for Yuji Ide out front, getting a bit of a break on Takeuchi. Then Masami Kageyama and Satoshi Motoyama. Big fight going on here for about 6th place. Akira Ida's Toyota up against Hiroki Kato and the Honda. There's been a change in 2nd place in the GT300 field. That's the Nissan gone through. Yanagita at the wheel of that, and Hideshi Matsuda's fallen back to 3rd in the Ferrari. On board with Takeuchi down the front straight, and that's Kageyama's Nissan. So he's been relegated back to 3rd place now, the Toyota driver. So maybe our pole sitter didn't choose the right tyres for these conditions. But Yanagita's come good after a bad start on the Nissan. He's now putting the pressure on Kinoshita, and that Chrysler Viper for the lead. He's got in front of him. What a great move. Now can Kinoshita come back at him? Well, yes, there's a left-hander looming up, so I think he will. Great fight between these two. Oh, and Motoyama's obviously got past Takeuchi, and he's on the right there trying to go around his teammate, Masami Kageyama. He fails. No, he doesn't. Kageyama overdoes it, and Motoyama comes down the inside. He's now 2nd. Dominic Schwager throwing down the challenge to Shinsuke Shibahara's VMAC, holding down 5th place at the moment. No, he's not. He's now 6th, and Schwager's gone ahead. The finish line awaits for Yuji Ide, who will take a famous first win for this Celsonic Skyline this year. Coming down, takes the checkered flag. Heading home, what looks like it'll be an historic Nissan 1-2-3 with Satoshi Motoyama. There he is in 2nd place. Kageyama right below. There's Dominic Schwager. Sight unseen by the director. He's got through to beat them to the line. There it is. The Denso Saad Toyota has made it to 2nd place in the dying moments of the race. Here's our GT300 leader, Masataka Yanagita. Don't worry about the 24 Porsche right behind. That's a lap down. There it is. The Chrysler Viper of Kinoshita takes the 2nd place. Well done, Yuji Ide.
全くトラブルないです。で
So yeah, it was
自分の
totally, the car had nothing wrong and there was no problem whatsoever, and I was able to keep my own pace, so that was really good.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I enjoyed it. Was a bit nervous in the beginning, because I was the only one to choose the slicks. So if I go off, everybody says, stupid choice. So it was really dangerous in the beginning because were complete new tires, not scrapped. So it was really like soap in the beginning.
So tyres the decisive factor there in this win for Yuji Ide, ahead of Dominic Schwager, Satoshi Motoyama, Kageyama in fourth, and then Shibahara in the VMAC. In GT300, of course, Masataka Yanagita takes the win in the Nissan, ahead of Takayuki Kinoshita in the Viper. Then it's Tadao Uematsu, comes back from that spin for third place. The teams briefly get the chance to re-prep and refuel the cars before the second race drivers get their chance to go out and face these tricky conditions. The bad news for them is that conditions have got worse. The rain and fog have returned just as they go out to start race 2 in the order in which the cars finished race 1. That, of course, puts Benoit Treloyer in the Calsonic Skyline on pole alongside Manabu Arido now taking over the Denso Saad Supra. Then it's teammates Michael Krum and Richard Lyons in the two Nissans. Shogo Mitsuyama will start 5th in the VMAC alongside the pole-sitting car from race 1 now driven by Yuji Tashikawa. Then it's Takeshi Tsuchiya and Koji Yamanishi in the Lamborghini. In GT300, Mitsuhiro Kinoshita takes over the endless Nissan on pole position alongside Eiji Yamada in the Viper. Then it's Kazuki Hoshino in the Daishin Sylvia and Tetsuya Tanaka in the Ferrari. In 5th place is now Fumio Moto in the second Sylvia alongside Guts Jonai in his Toyota MRS. Then it's the similar MRS of Masahiro Matsunaga and the Porsche of Atsushi Yogo. The conditions seem to be worsening by the moment, so this field is heading off into what is very much a journey into the unknown with very little grip. Benoit Treloyer leads the field away as he gets the green light. Manabu Arido on the outside of him. Look at the spray. Anyone behind the leaders is in trouble, like Yuji Tashikawa here. We're on board with him as he goes down to turn 1 suddenly, right up behind one of the Nissans. Can't see anything until they slow down for the corners. Oh, that's Guts Jonai's off in the Toyota MRS already. And someone's off on the outfield as well, maybe a couple of cars. Look at the spray everywhere. And now the Gent Supra takes its second spin of the day. Marco Apicella off on the green stuff. That is the Gomafune VMAC that's ended up on the outfield. Meantime, the leaders race on. Arido ahead of Treloyer. Then it's Michael Krum, Richard Lyons in the next spot, and the VMAC with Shogo Mitsuyama just behind him. All the field, the rest of the field that is, looks like it's got through safely. But boy, look at those conditions. There's the first GT300. It's the Ferrari that's got the lead away. Oh, trouble here for Hidetoshi Mitsusada in the Honda. Spears off on the infield, gets on the grass. Look at this. No stopping it. Oh, look out. He's going back onto the straight. Bang! Right into the path of the Lamborghini. Can't avoid him. What a mess. Not surprisingly, the safety car being deployed. Oh, and look, there's Nobuteru Taniguchi's been off into the scenery as well. A lot of carnage in the opening moments of the second race then. Look at the damage on the Lamborghini. Fortunately, Koji Yamanishi, the driver's out and is okay. Same thing with Mitsusada. Now, though, it's time for the restart. Arido leads them down to the green light. The three Nissans looming behind him. Benoit Treloyer pulls out to the left, trying to come down the inside, but he's not far enough through. So Arido leads them out still. Second place, Treloyer, the two Nissans, Richard Lyons and Michael Krum fighting over third place. Oh, Treloyer's got the lead, but he's also got sideways and off the edge of the track, trying to hold out the Denso Saad car. Can he hold out Arido? Well, no, the Arido car pulls alongside, so I think he's lost it. Yes, he looks across and sees the Toyota come back in the lead. Now it gets a screen full of spray. And look who else is here. Richard Lyons pulls right alongside the Calsonic Skyline. Lost in the spray, down the front straight. How brave are these guys? Almost bumper to bumper. And now Treloya pulls out to try to take the lead back. So down to turn one, side by side with Arido. And he's got him. Down the inside. Lyons slotting into third place. Tucked away in the back. Oh, he's trying to make it second. It's not going to work though. Arido, I think, yes, he will have the second place still. This is a great fight between these guys, and here's another one. Eiji Yamada has put the Viper ahead of the Ferrari of Tetsuya Tanaka for the lead at GT300. So, regardless of the conditions, these guys are not backing off all that much. Look, oh, and now second place has gone to Lyons. He's got past Arido. So the Denso Saad car has gone from the lead very quickly back to third. Here's the Viper versus the Ferrari, the fight for the lead of GT300. Continuing unabated by the look of it. Tanaka trying to find a way past again. Oh, and suddenly the Viper slowed coming out of the yeses. And yes, the Ferrari's got him. So Tanaka in the lead. Treloya doing a great job out front of the race, despite all the puddles and the rain. He seems to be running a perfect race. Second place, Richard Lyons just sitting there. Oh, but third place has gone to Yuji Tashikawa. Has got ahead of Arido, who's now taking a fierce amount of pressure from Michael Krum right behind him. Here's the GT300 leader, the Ferrari. Tetsuya Tanaka easing out just a little bit of a lead on the Viper. Heavy traffic ahead of Treloya here, so you can see even he has to deal with spray from other cars. Cause, oh, look out! Koji Matsuda spins his little Toyota MRS, almost takes out the race leader. Gets it turned around and underway again, but that was a scary moment, and now Apicella has his second spin of the race. The big crowd here at Fuji may be getting wet, but it's also getting a great spectacle. Now suddenly Richard Lyons is all over the race leader, Benoit Treloya. They almost hit the Ferrari as they went past him. And now out of the gloom comes Lyons, all very squirmy on the brakes. Almost overdoes it. Now gets it under control, but he's lost a bit of ground again. Ah, look at Michael Krum. He's right up with Yuji Tashikawa, challenging for third place. Travelling on board with Tashikawa. Wait for any sign of the Nissan. There it is on the inside. He's got him. So now it is a Nissan 1, 2, 3. Tashikawa left just with a lot of spray in fourth place now. Challenge on here for second place in GT300. Eiji Yamada and the Viper under threat from Shinichi Yamagi's Porsche. Oh, and he got a little bit loose there. Of course, that 8 litres of Chrysler engine under the bonnet of that thing. Very difficult to use in these circumstances. And the Porsche is through. So he's up to second, the Viper back to third. Back on board Tashikawa's Toyota, and he's all over Krum's Nissan again. So looks like he wants that third place back. And he's got it. Krum's gone wide there. Hang on. Yep, no sign of him, he's through. And another comeback. Eiji Yamada's got the Viper back ahead of Shinichi Yamagi's Porsche for second in the dying stages. So just a couple of corners to go now for Benoit Treloya. Coming onto the front straight. He's going to take this one out. 2 wins for the Calsonic Skyline. So they will win this round on accumulated points. What a great feeling this is. The first win for these young guys. Treloya and Ide were second here at Fuji in round 2. Now they take this one out. They truly have proven the masters of these treacherous conditions. Tracking him in the fog is Richard Lyons in the number 22 Nissan. So it's a Nissan 1-2. And Treloya looks rather happy with that. I should think so. Tetsuya Tanaka comes home first in the Ferrari, taking the GT300 win. And right behind him, Eiji Yamada will probably have done enough in the Viper to win the round outright. There's Treloya, fist out the window. Big congrats for Yuji Ide, his teammate, and now for Treloya too. Well deserved as well. Seems like they ran near perfect races. For sure, the Nissan fans are delighted.
I knew he was behind me, but he could pass me and I won the race, so I never took risk and he never took risk, you know. We are in the same team and we were so far away in front of the other car, so we just drive and follow the race, you know. And no, it was an easy race, you know. But I wanted to win race.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. You know, obviously I would have liked to win, but it was a bit of taking a chance to try to win against Benoit. The way the races were run, it was 2 races, and you know it was overall result counted. Unfortunately, in the first race we were 4th, so it didn't matter if I actually won the second race. I still wouldn't have won.
So at the end of a spectacular day's racing, Benoit Treloar stands on top of the podium, the winner by just 1.3 seconds. Yuji Tashikawa's 3rd, but then it's Juichi Wakasaka and Mishigami who beat home Michael Krum, who has a late drama. In GT300, the win's confirmed for Tetsuya Tanaka by 11 seconds ahead of Eiji Yamada. Then Shinichi Yamaji comes home 3rd ahead of Koji Matsuda and Takayuki Aoki. In the overall standings, it's Benoit Treloar and Yuji Ide who take the day ahead of Richard Lyons and Masami Kageyama and Dominic Schwager and Manabu Orido. And in GT300, Takayuki Kinoshita and Eiji Yamada in the Viper take the win ahead of Hideshi Matsuda and Tetsuya Tanaka in the Ferrari. In the drivers' points overall, it's a tie at the top between Juichi Wakasaka and Akira Ida and Satoshi Moriyama and Michael Krum. Richard Lyons and Masami Kageyama are 3rd. In GT300, Shinichi Yamaji and Katsuyuki Nishizawa continue to lead by 5 points now from Kouta Sasaki and Satoru Goto. On the Limits coverage of the Japan GT Championship is brought to you by Nissan.